like you're stuck in a never-ending loop of researching, creating, and planning, but never actually moving forward? I've been there too, and trust me, you're not stuck. You're confused about the right next step. Welcome back, creators. I'm so glad you're here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to break out of that cycle, take the leap, and start promoting your offers with confidence so that you can grow your audience, spread the word about your services, and ultimately grow your business and make more money. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you need to be focused on and stop wasting time on never-ending tasks that really don't matter. The real reason I want to talk to you about this today is because I see so many competent women that have incredible services and an amazing ability to help others grow, yet they don't really know how to promote their offers. Their services are extremely compelling, yet instead of taking action, they often get stuck in a cycle of overthinking, researching, and tweaking their services. Does that sound familiar to you? If you ever feel like you're spinning your wheels but you're not getting anywhere, this video is for you. When I first started my business, I definitely got stuck in this cycle, and it was really hard to break. On the one hand, I feel like it's so easy to slip into this, especially if this is your first business, if you don't have a lot of business acumen before starting selling your services, because we want to know more about how to do things. We obviously want to do things the right way, and oftentimes we need more information before we can proceed. I think this is extremely prevalent in this industry as well, just because as healers, as wellness leaders, what you want to do is you want to offer your service. You don't really want to promote it. That's not what you really signed up to do, right? You have a compelling offer, you know how you can help your clients, but then the promotion part, it comes a little bit hard just because it's probably not your forte, maybe have never had to deal with something like this, and it's extremely hard to get started. I totally empathize with that. But the thing is, we do need to get started. We do need to promote our services. Oftentimes, especially when you're starting a business in the wellness industry, a lot of the women that I work with, they're working alone in their businesses, at least until they can grow it a bit bigger and they can hire outside help. But oftentimes, even that outside help will most likely be an assistant that still needs direction from you. So it's quite different coming from a corporate environment where you probably worked with a team, you were maybe not the decision maker, there was always someone above you that would tell you exactly what needs to get done. And also as a team, you probably had goals, everybody was reaching for the same goals. So it's a lot easier in that sense to focus on the task at hand and to know exactly what the next steps are. But when you are growing your business from nothing, it's basically from scratch, you really don't have a roadmap to how to get things done. Sure, you may have an idea of what needs to get done in order to start promoting your services or how to promote your services, but having a good idea and actually executing on this idea and seeing it through, those are two very different things. I know that for myself, when I first started my business, I was researching so much. I really wanted everything to be perfect. I was looking for the next strategy. I always thought that if I researched just a little bit more, I will be able to find the perfect way of doing things. And it really does come from a good place, right? You do want to create the best experience for your clients. You want to have as smooth a process as possible. But, getting stuck in the cycle, it really does prevent us from moving forward. And not only does it stop us from moving forward, but looking around and looking at other people outside of us, it ends up creating even more internal confusion. Today, I really want to take the time and talk to you about the cycle. It's very difficult to break out of this cycle because on the one hand, you're now used to the routine, so it's easier to continue doing what you've been doing. And on the other hand, the routine adds to your confusion, so you get to a point where you're really afraid to take the next step. Another thing that I found is that the more you research, the more you find, and really everyone will always have a different method of doing things. They will always have a different idea. You simply do not have the time to consider and execute on all of these ideas. What you need to do instead is look within, make a decision, and really take that first step. So let's start by identifying this cycle of inaction. They say that awareness is the first step after all. So you may not even think that you are stuck in a cycle, although I think you have a little bit of an idea if you clicked on this video. But beyond the fact that you're not promoting your services, the other ways this cycle may manifest is by not posting consistently on social media, by not having a super clear idea of exactly what it is that you do, and not having a concrete way of communicating how you deliver the transformation that you deliver for your clients. Or it may manifest in the way of you having way too many programs, way too many offerings that end up stretching you a little too thin. Because when we're doing so many different things, it's very hard to become good or the best at doing just one thing. Your attention will be everywhere and you'll end up doing a lot of busy work. So how does this cycle start? It usually starts with a great idea, maybe a new offer, a program, or a service. So of course, you dive deep, you create this program, you have all of the moving pieces put together, you create a mind map of everything that you need to do. You probably even finished it, but then you end up never promoting it. So it's as if all of that time and the energy that you put into it gets wasted. And trust me, eventually it will get wasted, because if you create something right now, but then you only come back to it a year later, I can guarantee that in a year, you will be a different person. You will have new goals. You probably will have tweaked your brand voice, and whatever you created just doesn't feel aligned with you anymore. So now what you'll end up doing to save your time invested, you'll justify working on it even a little bit more so you can bring it up to date, and the cycle is perpetually continued. Why does this happen? Well, it happens because it's so easy to confuse being busy with being productive. But the truth is, most of the tasks that we are doing are keeping us from moving forward. They may feel important, like learning, creating, and tweaking, but they don't really move us towards our real goals. Think about it like the 80-20 rule. Whenever I talk about this concept, I like to refer back to the 80-20 rule. 80% of all outputs are generated by 20% of our inputs. The biggest traction that we get in our business comes from only 20% of energy that we're expanding. So that means that the other 80% of the time, you're just doing busy work that doesn't actually move you forward. Or, out of everything you learn, 80% is not useful information and 20% can be applied to you. Out of all of your programs, 80% never sell or make very little money, whereas 20% bring you all of your income. Out of your entire audience, 80% will never buy and 20% are your most loyal customers. You get the idea. So why do we get stuck? Why do we get stuck in this cycle? Trust me, it's always easy to think about the different ways that you can deliver your service, how you can improve that service. It's always easy to do that instead of actually promoting it. To give you a bit of a real world example, I have a client that is an exceptional intuitive healer. I've been working with her for a couple of years now, and every time I connect with her, I encourage her to promote her services. She reaches back out to me every couple of months, and she wants me to help her promote her services and reach a bigger audience because she's not making enough money to sustain herself with the current customer base that she has. And every single time we end up having the same conversation. I encourage her to create promotional content and deliver that content to a wider audience. And while we're on the call, she's on board with the plan. She wants to do it. She understands that she needs to reach a wider audience in order to promote her services. But then we get off the call and it's very hard for her to move forward. What I see her do a lot of the time is fall back into what feels comfortable, into the same patterns. Because why should you go outside of your comfort zone and create a video and promote that video on different social media platforms that then reaches a wider audience when you can just fall back on what's familiar and just send out a newsletter? And I'm not telling you this story to shame her in any way. I think she is a brilliant woman, and all I want for her is for her to put herself out there so she can reach more customers, because I truly believe in the transformative power of her work. I've even worked with her myself, so I definitely know that she can deliver transformations. And these transformations that she delivers are life-changing, but she refuses. It's very hard for her to get out of this cycle of repeating what's familiar. Or I've had other clients come back to me and refer to the fact that maybe their services are not well priced or their services are not comprehensive enough, and that's why they're not getting booked. But then when we look at the cause of why their services are not being booked, it's really because they're not promoting it at all, right? So It's easy to think that if you have a website, if you are somewhat on Instagram, if you have somewhat of a presence on Facebook or another platform, it's easy to think that people will come to you. And in today's world, it's really not the case of build it and they will come anymore. You really do have to reach out to your customers. You have to put yourself where they are. Otherwise, they will not find you. They will not find your services. And I fear that they will not have the opportunity to experience the transformation that you deliver. And I think that is the real shame. Because after all of you coaches, spiritual healers, and wellness entrepreneurs, you're put on this earth to serve others. And if you do not open yourself up to welcome your soul clients into your ecosystem, then it's not just you that loses, it's your potential clients as well. And this is why I really want you to take a look at the way that you're operating in your business and identify areas where this cycle may be repeating itself over and over again. And why do we get stuck in this cycle? If you have identified that you too are stuck in this cycle in some capacity or another, then you may be wondering, why is that? Why do we get stuck in these negative cycles? And the reason really, like everything else, it boils down to fear. Fear of putting ourselves out there, fear of being seen, fear of failure, or even fear of success. It's easier to stay in research mode because it feels safe. There's virtually no risk involved in learning something new. And another huge reason why we get stuck is imposter syndrome. We're afraid that what we have to offer is not enough. I was recently talking to another one of my clients that wanted to put together a coaching course. And as we were working on it, I realized that she doesn't seem that enthusiastic about it. And not only does she not seem extremely enthusiastic about it, but it was so far removed from her current offerings and from her zone of genius that it made me question, why was she doing this program? And what she did, she confided in me that she doesn't actually want to be a coach. She doesn't really feel like she is a coach. What she wanted to do was to help her clients look deep within themselves to find exactly what it is that they want to do and how to best communicate their offers to their audience. And this is totally in line with who she is as a person, the way she runs her business, and very closely related to her other programs. So I asked her, why coaching if she doesn't even want to do that? Why is it that she picked that specific idea when it was clear to me that, again, she wasn't very excited? And I have to give it to her because this client was extremely self-aware, and she immediately told me that she has a fear of leading a program about communication and about teaching people how to reach within themselves and find what it is exactly they want to do and how to best communicate that to their audience, because she didn't know if she can prove to them that this program is worth it. She was afraid of not having the results to back up her claims. To which I said, you don't have the results, but you have helped so many people over the years. And that's when it kind of clicked for her. She didn't look at her results in that way. She thought about this business coaching program because a lot of the people that she was helping so far, they would come to her with questions about how to promote their business and how to grow their audience because they have seen her succeed in that. I told her right away, you don't have to make the switch if it doesn't feel aligned and if you think that your customers are not going to embrace it. And again, I'm using this to illustrate how easy it is for us to get in a cycle of creating things that don't resonate with us, that don't fully align with who we are. We think that if this is what other people come to me for, then this is the service that I have to offer. But there is also a part of you. You are the human behind your brand. So if something doesn't fully align with the services that you want to offer, don't try to mold yourself around what other people expect from you. And this expectation, it holds us back and it keeps us in this cycle of doing busy work and working on things that don't fully align with our vision for the future. So how do you break free from the cycle? And how did I help my clients break free from their cycles? Well, first of all, you break free from that cycle by realizing that you don't need more information and you don't need to conform to other people's expectations of you. Just because some people come to you for a certain specific service and you don't want to offer that, it is okay to put those boundaries in place and focus on what it is that you want to do. At the end of the day, we're all starting these businesses because we want to take charge of our lives and we want to create something that fuels our soul and drives us towards our purpose. So it's useless to get off on tangents and do things that other people expect from you, but that don't fully align with who you are and your vision for the future. Please don't fall into this trap of creating offers and programs for other people and not creating them for you. There needs to be a balance. You have to look at your audience and you have to look at what resonates with them and the problems that you can help them solve. But at the same time, do not force yourself to do something that you don't want to do, because you're going to end up creating things that you're not passionate about. You're not going to enjoy them, and your audience is gonna know. They're going to feel like you're not 100% in it. And honestly, it just adds to the cycle because you're not going to get good results and you're going to tell yourself, I didn't get good results because I didn't have enough information. So back to the drawing board you go, and the cycle repeats itself over and over again. The truth is that you already have all your information within yourself. So this is why I always preach, don't try to create more programs. Don't try to create new offers. Focus on the programs that you already have and deliver these the best way possible. You can tweak it every once in a while, but if you are a perpetual tweaker, be careful with that. I would say you can tweak once or twice a year. That's it. Obviously, if you see a bottleneck, definitely tweak that, but don't get stuck in that perpetual cycle of tweaking your services. Don't create more services. First, learn how to promote your existing services. Have a good idea of how to do that. Once you have good results and once you have a reliable stream of income coming in, then you can focus on creating more. Remember that the clarity you're looking for comes after you take the leap, not before. You know that saying, can I look before I leap? No, but you can leap. As a mantra, tell yourself done is better than perfect. Tell yourself action creates clarity. And if you want to know how I ended the call with the client that I was just referring to earlier, well, I suggested that she do the survey, that she survey her audience on what program they want to do, whether it's the first one that doesn't feel fully aligned or the second one where she feels fully aligned with the content, and see what they want. Put the decision in their hands. And you know what she told me? She told me, I don't even need to do the survey because I know now that I realize this and that I fully expressed how I'm feeling, I know that I will not be happy doing the first program. And that really just goes to show how easy it is to affirm to yourself and to break out of that cycle once you become aware that you are stuck in it. So stop doing things that don't matter. Again, and I cannot emphasize this enough, but busy does not equal productive. One of the biggest tasks that we fall into is focusing on tasks that don't move the needle, like endlessly tweaking our website, our branding, or working on offers that we haven't yet promoted. Rewriting your sales page for a third time before sharing it with anyone. Creating new offers without fully promoting the ones you have. Or like I said earlier, pivoting your brand identity to match people's expectations of you. I also want to touch on this as well. It can also be continuing to promote yourself on a platform that doesn't drive results because you think it will. Of course, on every single platform that you promote yourself or in any way that you promote yourself, you have to give it time before you actually can see results. But if you're doing the same thing a year later and you're still not seeing any results, it may be time for you to either pivot how you create your content or pivot to a different platform. Don't stay stuck repeating the same cycle over and over again. You know what they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Well, this is exactly the situation that I'm describing. So be careful if you're stuck in that cycle. This one might be a little bit harder to identify because you do feel like you are promoting, but you're not seeing any results. And sometimes it really isn't you, it really isn't your offer, but it's the platform that you're promoting on. Perhaps your audience is just not there, right? Maybe they're not on that platform and you need to switch. So in that case, I definitely encourage you to take a step back and realize what's happening, take stock of what you've done, and think of a best plan to move forward. For the rest, I also want you to start shifting to revenue generating activities. Because let's face it, none of the tasks that you do on a daily basis matter if they're not bringing in any revenue. The only way to drive real results is by focusing on revenue generating activities. Promoting your offer, building relationships, creating content, and following up with potential clients. Start promoting now, not later. You don't need to create another offer or do more research. You don't need to think about how to pivot your content to better fit what people are asking of you. You need to take what you have and start promoting it. Even if it's not perfect, even if you feel uncertain, even if you think that you don't have what it takes. Again, clarity comes from action. Start with what you already have. Promote an offer, a service, a program, and create a super simple promotion plan. Don't look anywhere else. Don't look at how other people are doing it. Listen to me. This is what you need to do. You need to promote it on social media, send an email out to your list, talk about it in a video, or connect with other people that you know can help you promote it. Nothing else. You don't need to learn more. Tell your audience about the transformation your offer provides. What's the value that you bring? Focus on that and nothing else. Remember, perfection is not the goal. Once you have promoted it once, promote it again and promote it again and promote it again until people start booking you, until your courses get filled, until you have a full client flow where you are comfortable. And this is exactly why it is so much easier to promote something that's within your zone of genius. It's going to be so much easier for you to talk about it. You don't need to do a ton of research before promoting it. And it will really set your soul on fire. You're going to be excited about promoting it. So how do you stay out of this cycle? Because once you've taken that first leap, it's really important that you don't fall back into that cycle. I want you to create a simple, realistic plan that focuses on what actions you need to do to continue promoting your offers. Schedule a time each week for promotional activities only. No new research, no new projects. Set a goal to talk about your promotion in some way every single day, whether it be on social media, in an email, or on a call with existing clients. And finally, you really do need to get comfortable with imperfect action because every step forward means progress. I really also want you to focus on this mindset shift. You are not stuck. The only thing that keeps you from moving forward is the confusion that comes from inaction. Once you start, the fog lifts and everything becomes clearer. So, as a final takeaway, you're not stuck, you're just confused because you haven't taken that first leap. The second you stop researching, stop overthinking, stop conforming yourself to other people's expectations of you, and start promoting, that's when things will shift. You'll gain momentum, clarity, and most important, clients. Here's my challenge for you. Take 30 minutes today to promote one of your offers. Pick something that you've been sitting on and tell your audience about it. Don't wait until it's perfect. Don't overthink it. Just take action and see what happens. Drop a comment below and tell me what offer you're promoting today. I can't wait to see you break that cycle. I'm Vanessa from Zen, an all-encompassing branding and web design studio where we help you tap into your CEO energy and finally live the life you've been dreaming of. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.